Yep. So welcome everyone. Assalamu
Are we gonna do
alaikum.
the welcome song?
Yes, we are. We actually are. So hang on. Let me tell you what we're going to do today. Oh, I'm letting someone in, but it's not letting them in. Come on. All right. Yes. Welcome everybody. Today is Saturday, November 28th, and we're having a workshop today. So let's see what we're going to do today. We're going to start with the welcome song, like we asked about Abdullah. And then we're going to move our bodies a little bit, get a little bit of exercise. And then we'll have introductions. We'll just introduce ourselves because we do have a guest speaker today. And just in case someone forgets who their friends are, we want to remind them. Okay. Then we'll have story time and we'll get to meet our guest speaker, our special guest today. And she's going to read us a story today. Then we'll have questions and answer sessions. So that means if you have questions, you ask the questions about the topic, and then she'll try to answer it. And then we'll talk about what we're going to discuss in December. But this is still November. Does anyone remember what we were discussing, what we've been discussing throughout the month?
Nope.
No? No one?
No.
People with different abilities, remember? People who do things differently, who may look differently, who may think differently, right? All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to our very next thing, which is the hello song. Who's ready for the hello song? Are you ready? I'm ready. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Thumbs up? Yes. Nestor's ready. Ten is ready. Zahir, you ready? He's in his own world. You ready? I think we've got your blood flowing by now. Good job, guys. Everyone doing okay?
Yes.
Thumbs up. Let me know you're fine. Do you need a cup of water? Abdullah, really?
Yes.
Okay, babe. That's so we're gonna start with introductions. And first, I want you to tell us your name, remind us of your name, and then let us know what makes you special or different. So I'll start. My name is Dr. Fozia. And one thing that makes me special or different is I'm a slow reader. I read really slowly. I love reading big books, like really, really thick books like this, right? Really thick books. But I read so slowly that I prefer to listen to my books. So I listen to audiobooks a lot. So that makes me very different from everyone else. And that's okay. Remember, we talked about this? It's okay to be different. All right. So let's see. Nestor. So introduce yourself. Tell us your name. And
My name is Nestor, and I always watch Ninja Kids and Power Rangers.
that makes you special. You like watching Ninja Kids and Power Rangers. All right, cool. Tanny, can let us tell us your name?
What's your name? Tani Kareem.
Your name is Penny Kareem, mashallah. So what makes you special? All right, you're just beautiful. That's what makes you special.
Because she's a princess.
Huh? What did you say?
Because she's a princess.
Oh, she's a princess. That's so beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. All right. So next we have Abdullah. You ready now?
Yep.
What's your name and tell us what makes you special or different?
My name is Abdullah, and also what makes me special is that I read fast.
You read fast. So you're opposite of me. You read fast. Cool. That's a nice, special, different kind of gift that you've got there. All right. How about you, Zahir? He's in his own world. He won't even on mute. Go next. So that's, it's, and we discussed this already. We got to read a lot of books that talk about how people are different. So, and people have different abilities. And once again, that is okay. Allah has made us very different.
That
Rahmakallah. All right. So you guys got to read a few books. We've read 5 books already this month. MashaAllah, that's quite an achievement. So let's review them just a little bit, okay? So the first one is All Kinds of Friends. Who remembers reading this book? Remember that? Okay, cool. So we talked about how there are all kinds of people, that you can be friends with, right? We've got people, for example, who have different ways of walking. What do you see different about this guy here? Nestor, what's different about him?
This is about if someone is not the same as you.
People who are not the same as you. Thank you so much for that. So Abdullah, what makes this guy different?
he has the other person can walk, but he has to sit on something. I think because he broke one of his body bones or something.
Well, not necessarily because it's broken, but that's how Allah made him. That's how he is. So he needs it's called a wheelchair. He needs a wheelchair to walk around, right? So people are also
Yeah.
different. Some friends have a different way of talking. So I don't know if you can tell here, but they're talking with their hands. They're actually communicating. And this is called sign language. They're using sign language to communicate with each other. Okay? So that's what makes them special, all different. All right. So we also read this book. It's okay to be different. This was a wacky book. I really enjoyed it. Very colorful and interesting. Again, it says it's okay to have wheels, kind of like the wheelchair we talked about with the previous guy. So this guy over here gets around in wheels. He's using wheelchair. It's okay to to be missing a tooth or 2 or 3. You guys are gonna go through that phase where you're losing your teeth, and it's okay. It's okay to look different, okay? And it's okay to wear glasses. I wear glasses because without my glasses, I can't see very well. So in any case, if you ever need glasses, it's okay for you to have them on, and it's okay to have friends who wear glasses. All right. Another book we read, Special People's Special Ways. I love this one too. And can you tell me what makes this lady, this little girl here, what makes her different? Can you see this one, Nestor? No?
Oh,
Oh, okay. I think it's because you're using a phone. All right. Abdullah, can you tell me what's different about her?
She's using she's using a dog because she's blind.
Because she's blind, and she also has a cane in her hand to get around, so to make sure that she doesn't run into stuff. So that's a very good observation. Thank you. And also, it says here, not everyone born is athletic or smart. We each have a choice to give from our hearts. So it's reminding us to be kind to each other. You're going to meet people who are so different from you, and it's okay. You just have to be kind and nice to them. Okay? We read this book the last time we met for our book, kind of like our book club hangout. Why am I me? And there were two kids, a boy and a girl, who were asking, why am I different? Why am I me? And eventually they met. And one of the things that I took away from this is everyone looks different. And I believe this is
Most
say it again.
I said the 2 Muslims.
Oh, there are 2 Muslims. Yes, good observation. So we're on the train and you can see people of different shades, different colors.
One right there. Those. Huh?
I didn't hear what you said.
One right here and one right here.
Okay, yeah, there are 2 Muslims. Yep. All right. So that's a good observation as usual. And there was this one. It says uniquely wired. I was intrigued. That means I was really impressed by this one. It's a story of a boy who has what's called autism. And he had a thing for watches. He loved getting into watches. He knew all the facts, all this information about watches that I could never, remember on my own, but he knew them because that's how he is. He just remembers things differently. And he's a guy who doesn't necessarily like being hugged. So we have to be sensitive to that. Some of our friends who are different don't like being touched or hugged. They also sometimes may not be able to look at you directly in the eyes. They may look away when they're talking to you. So just be careful, pay attention to that, okay? And another thing, he doesn't like loud noise. It bothers him a lot. So and that's okay. Once again, he's just different. Okay. All right. So now we're going to read our next book, the book for today. But before we do, we're going to have our guest speaker read this book to us. Our speaker is Dr. Abisola Abass, and she goes by Dr. Abby. She's a physical therapist. Here. All right, Dr. Abby, you can go ahead, and I'll just I'll advance the book for you.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Salam.
Good to see you. I'm Dr. Abisola, but you can call me Dr. Abby. Today we're going to read My Brother Charlie by Holly Robinson Peete. We've always been together, even in mommy's tummy. My twin brother Charlie and me. We still share lots of things. Curly hair and brown eyes. How much we love hot chocolate with marshmallows. Our dog Harriet. Rolling in the grass. Music. Football. And names that start with the letter C, Callie and Charlie. But being twins doesn't make us exactly the same. I'm 2 minutes younger than Charlie. I can stare for hours at the Big Dipper and the moon, and I love to talk. Charlie is skinnier and goofier than me. He hates math. When he looks at the sky, he finds jets and helicopters. And sometimes my brother gets very quiet. When we were babies, I pointed out flowers and cats and fireflies. I snuggled and giggled with mommy on dark nights and told mommy again and again how much I love her. But Charlie was different. He wouldn't play with me or kiss mommy's cheeks when she hugged him, and he didn't say I love you. Seems those words were locked deep inside my brother. Everyone told mommy not to worry. He's just being a boy, they said. But mommy knew there was something different about Charlie. I knew it too. As we grew older, mommy watched Charlie very carefully. She and I could see he was struggling. Then mommy discovered that Charlie's brain works in a special way because Charlie has autism. It's harder for Charlie to make friends or show his feelings or stay safe. One doctor even told mommy that Charlie would never say, I love you. That made mommy and me saddest of all. I have learned from Charlie that love doesn't always come from what you say. It can also come from what you do. And so we do right by Charlie. We love Charlie strong. We watch over him with the might of angels. We have to. When Charlie wants something, nothing stops him, even when it's dangerous. And there are days when it's hard to be Charlie's sister. Sometimes he can ruin the best play dates. Other times he seems so far away, like when he won't look at me or speak or play. I wish I could crawl inside Charlie's world to move things around for him and for me. I know Charlie wants to be in my world, fitting in, making friends, having fun and laughing. There are good times with Charlie too, when Charlie looks right at me and welcomes me with his smile. He lets me touch his face. He laughs when we lock fingers in a holding hand games. That's Charlie's I love you, said in the silly ways we play together. Charlie is Charlie is good at so much. He knows the names of all the American presidents. He's a fish in the water. He has a special way with animals, especially Harriet. When Harriet and Charlie are together, there's even more I love you, said in the way only Charlie can when he gets Harriet to sit, run, or listen. Charlie's got a mind that tests things, shoelaces, paper clips, apples, pine cones, and he enjoys sharing. He likes to show off his shell collection, his new sneakers, and how well he plays Itsy Bitsy Spider on the piano. Charlie likes to share how sweet he is and how much he cares about other people. When I fall off my bike or bump my head, Charlie comes running. He always makes my hurts feel better with the caring that comes from his eyes. Sometimes, when Charlie can find the words, when they unlock themselves from inside him, he does say, I love you. I will always remember the first time I heard him say it. So clear and kind, so Charlie. I banged my toe hard and cried. There was my brother patting my back, saying over and over again, don't cry, Callie, I love you. It wasn't just the words that were so strong. It was the love that Charlie showed me just by being there. I love you too, Charlie, came from me fast. Charlie has autism, but autism doesn't have Charlie. If you ever get to meet my brother, you'll feel lucky to be his friend. He won't care if you have the coolest sneakers or if you are the best at sports. He'll just like you for who you really are. That's Charlie. I'm blessed to be Charlie's sister and to share so much. I count my Charlie blessings every day. At the very top of my Charlie blessings list is the love Charlie and I have for each other. Said in so many ways.
Aw, thank you so much for that, Dr. Abby. And this is actually a real story. I love the book. Thank you.
Right, so children with different abilities. We just read a book about Charlie who had autism, and I am a physical therapist. I work with children with different needs and abilities. It's so wonderful to read about Charlie because I know so many children like Charlie. And so these are different children building up their abilities, and we have a little boy in a wheelchair, and that's how he gets around. So there are different ways that we can look at people like Charlie who have special needs. There are several different ways we look at them, either their development, their medical, how they learn, their mental health, or even their behavior. Does anyone know how Charlie learned? There was a different way that he learned. He wasn't like his twin sister. And so some of my children are like that too.
Charlie was talking.
He was.
He
Yes,
let
he did.
himself talking. He
Say
let
it again.
talking.
He wasn't talking.
He learned about talking.
He learned about talking. That's right. He had a different way of talking. And so when you work with children with special needs, they communicate differently. Some of them cannot verbally speak like you and I are speaking. Some use sign language. Thank you, hello, more. That's how they communicate. So these are some of the ways that I communicate with my children if they can't speak. Sometimes I can point to pictures for them and give them little cues on what to do next when we're working together. Just to give you a little bit of information, 1 out of every 5 children in the United States has a special healthcare need. So it's more than likely that if you are in the grocery store or at school, you know someone who has a special need. Children with special needs can have physical, intellectual, or developmental disabilities, which means that sometimes their brain doesn't work like the way you or mommy's brain works, right? And sometimes they're a little different, so they get more help from specialists like myself. Sometimes we have to help those who have a special need. And this is a soccer game. And so you and I can stand up and kick the ball. But sometimes our friends who have special needs need a little bit more help. And we want to make sure we include them in all of our activities. So sometimes you'll see them on the football field or on the playground with a ball, and they'll try to kick the ball, or they'll have someone simulate the ball kicking for them. Sometimes you'll have ballet class or dance class or any type of class, and you'll have someone in the class that has a different ability. And sometimes they have a special piece of equipment, and this is called a walker. And the walker helps this ballet girl stand up. So she's trying to do ballet class just like the girls next to her. So just because she has something doesn't make her different. We just want to include her and include all of our friends that have special needs. Sometimes our kiddos lose focus. It's difficult to pay attention. Sometimes you can do ball tossing activities. And like Charlie, his interactions were awkward. So children in wheelchairs also have exercises that they can do. Just like you guys just did your exercise video, people in wheelchairs have exercise videos too. And we like to get them moving so that they don't get stiff. Sometimes you can stretch your arms, stretch your legs, move your head, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. All right, so again, thank you for that, your patience. So again, we have different friends and we want to make sure that we include them in all that we do. So sometimes if you see someone who's in a wheelchair or a walker, you can walk up to them and you can wave, you can say hello, and you can include them in on some of your activities when you're out on the playground. And so this is just a picture of them outside, just trying to include people in wheelchairs. So those are all the beautiful individuals that I work with. Now I want us to stand up. Work with my students, I ask them to shake their sillies out. And we do it in different ways. So if they're in a wheelchair, we work with them in the wheelchair. If they have a walker, We'll work with them in their walker, and we want them to feel included, just like you and me. Thank you for your time, friends. Salamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much, Dr. Abby. We really appreciate that. I learned something new. I love it.
Hey.
Okay, you guys. So does anyone have any more questions? Any questions about what Dr. Abby does? No question? Everything's perfectly, let me stop. Everything's perfectly clear? All right. Well, next month, which is December, we're going to be discussing healthy teeth, healthy gums. So we're going to be talking about your what? Your teeth and your gums, right? I'm excited about that because we need to make sure that we're eating the right stuff, we're cleaning our teeth the right way to make sure that we don't get what? Cavities, because cavities hurt. They're not fun at all. You don't want those. So we will be meeting on December 19th. Let me make sure. I'll send this information to your parents just so they have it to make sure everyone's there. Yes, inshallah, on December 19th, we're going to meet with her. But in the meantime, we're going to share with you books to read about healthy gum, healthy teeth, so that we can be prepared to discuss some of the things about eating healthy and keeping a healthy teeth with her. Okay? So that's pretty much it.